Hello everybody, here we are today and we are back making videos today talking about the Arizona Coyotes and whether or not they are going to be that surprise team that ends up making the playoffs this year. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So man, is it good to be back after a week of no videos, being super crazy, and we are back doing multiple videos. And with this one we have the Arizona Coyotes, who have got off to a very good start this year. They are 12-9-2 and have a lot of people talking about whether or not they'll make it to the postseason. So let's kind of jump on into this and see what we're going to talk about. So the first thing, obviously, is the Coyotes have not been very good in recent memory. In fact, they have a playoff drought going back to the 2019-20 season. And in a normal year, they would have not made the playoffs, where you're looking at where they were in the standings and how many teams are above them, and the fact that some of these teams even had games in hand. You realize they probably wouldn't have made it to the postseason. However, with the qualifying round being a thing, they were rewarded. Ended up taking on the Nashville Predators in the qualifying round, beat them, and then I think they lost to the Avalanche in the first round. So I guess if you want to count that, that works. If not, the last time that they really, truly made the postseason was the 2011-12 season, where they ended up actually being the Phoenix Coyotes, or they were the Phoenix Coyotes. So it has been a minute, and if you're looking at this, you realize that if you include the qualifying round year, they've only made the postseason one time in the past 11 seasons, meaning that the desert has been pretty barren and dry of that postseason hockey. And the really good thing for them is the fact that they've been able to have such a good start to the year. It took them just 23 games to hit 12 wins on the season. The season before this, it took 32 games. In the season before that, it took 47. That was a terrible year for them. And right now they're in a spot where everything is looking good. They are currently on a 4-game winning streak. That's great, especially at this point of the year. And on top of that, they sit 4th in the Central Division and are the first wild card spot in the moment out of the St. Louis Blues. All terrific news there. And I think the best thing here for this team is they haven't dug themselves into a hole early. Now, that season where it took them 47 games to get to 12 wins, that was a year where they had 2 really long losing streaks before they hit that 12-win mark, obviously. But it was just one of those deals where their season ended before it ever really started. Right now you have a situation where Arizona's season is looking pretty good about 25 games in. So in that time, what has been going right for the Coyotes through this stint? Well, the first thing is their power play has been clicking really well. At the moment, it is 6th best in the entire NHL. Did not see that coming. Thought there would be some improvements, but to be almost top 5 is really incredible for them. Last year, they finished 24th in the league in this category. Really good to see guys like Logan Cooley benefiting off of this. I believe out of his 13 points, 9 of them have come off the man advantage. And in their past 2 wins out of their current 4-game winning streak, they had power play goals in each of those games. So really good to see there. Also, another thing is Connor Ingram's really been able to provide some stability in net for them right now. Vejmelka's not had the best start of the year, whereas Ingram has a .925 save percentage, a 2.40 goals against average, and 9.3 goals saved above average total right there. All really good things, and he has really been a workhorse for them, or I should say just one of those guys that's been really reliable. They've kind of been in a situation where they haven't helped their goalies out a whole lot in certain categories, and for Ingram, he has been their guy. 10 of their 12 wins have come with him in between the pipes, so power play working well for them, and then having a goalie in net that can help you out even when you're having bad days are never really things that are going to be bad, especially when you're right there trying to make the postseason. Now, what's went wrong for them? I would say there's a few things that come to mind. They've had 5 one-goal losses already where they didn't force overtime. They didn't go to a shootout, anything like that. So those are 5 games where you're looking at that and saying, well, realistically, we're not going to be able to win all 5 of those. However, let's say, you know, they push 2 of those 5 into overtime and they end up winning those games. That's 4 points right there where they would get a little bit of a cushion and life would just be a little bit easier for them. So I guess just finding a way to push it into OT would probably be a good thing to do there. On top of that, they are just not a very good team at 5-on-5 play. I believe their shots for percentage is 31st in the league, just ahead of the San Jose Sharks. You know, they are allowing a lot of high danger chances against. They aren't really getting a lot of quality chances in general, but they have been able to outperform their expected goal total, so that's kind of been working in their favor. And then finally, something that really hasn't been going well for them is the fact that when they're trailing, they are not a great team at getting back into it. The offensive numbers kind of look rough. Again, I imagine a lot of that comes in a 5-on-5. Is some of that due to the fact that, you know, they've had, I believe, 1 or 2 losses that were kind of big losses and they kind of threw in the towel saying, hey, we already know this game is going to be lost. There's not really a key point to try to put in a lot of effort in this, worrying about guys getting injured, all that stuff. It's tough to say because NHL is such a different sport compared to other sports where there's a lot more pride, it feels like, on the line. You know, basketball, I'm not trying to be mean to them, but it seems like if you have a 40-point loss, they're going to throw out the young guys and they're going to kind of throw them to the wolves and give them experience. Where hockey, you've got to go out there, and it's almost more of a, if you lose this game by a lot, it feels hurtful. But again, it's tough to say with it, but Arizona's got to get better when they're trailing. So currently, where does Arizona stand at the moment? Well, where they stand right now is they are on pace for their best season since the 2011-12 season, and they finished with 97 points in that campaign. This year, they look like they're on pace to finish with 93 points, which would be a really good year. And again, they are right there where they hold the first wildcard spot. So at the moment, if the season ended today for whatever reason, or if the standings remained relatively the same, Arizona would be able to punch their first postseason ticket in a normal-esque season for the first time in over 10 years. Now, will they make it? Well, according to MoneyPuck.com, they really do seem to favor them making it to the postseason right now. They give them a 68.4% chance to make the dance. However, obviously Arizona has some bad things going against them. Again, when you're not able to play 5-on-5 effectively, you're leaving your goalies in bad situations where one of them is struggling and the other one's kind of had to bail you out at times in order to get some of these wins. Those are things that are a little bit concerning, but at the same time, I'm looking at this and saying there are some good things that they've been able to do as well. Again, the power play clicking is good. If Ingram is able to continue to play well, that's also good. You can have a team that relies on a goalie to play well, even though the team defensively may not be able to help them out a whole bunch and be able to make it to the playoffs. The bad news is, obviously, those are things that need to be fixed, and you have some teams like the Minnesota Wild that are on a 3-game win streak and the Edmonton Oilers, two teams that were projected to be above them by the end of the season, and they are starting to hit their form. McDavid's been on fire recently, so you do have to watch out for that. And I'm going to be honest, if I had to make a pick, I don't think that the party is going to last all year. This is a team that I said would be better. This was a team in my season preview that I said I actually looked at like their third line, and I said, wow, I really like that third line. You know, their top 9 obviously has featured or been able to get out some more talent, even if there are some older guys, and that is really cool. But at the end of the day, this is a team that they aren't really built to go to the postseason this year. They're built on improving, and if it ends up being an 80-point season, that is great. That's good news for them as some of these young guys get more time to develop, and I really think that this is going to be a pivotal year for how things finish, because what is the long-term stability of this team? What are the future plans? Obviously, it's been hard to find a home in the desert. There's been a lot of talk about maybe they're going to move to Houston and become the Heroes and revive the WHA team there. But the reality is this: if you have a good year right now and say, well, this is our best season in almost 15 years, and this is what the future could look like with some of these young guys, and this is, you know, just the beginning of the good things to come, maybe, just maybe, that does help out in things with getting a new stadium and kind of keeping this team in Arizona, where I'm sure a lot of Coyotes fans would love to see them. Does Houston deserve a team, you know, with how big of a city they are? That's probably a yes, but at the same time, you would ideally like to be able to keep a team in Arizona and give Houston a team if you are pro-expansion. So I guess we'll see. So yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on the Coyotes right now and whether or not they're going to make the playoffs this year. I'm leaning towards no, but I'm hoping that they do end up making it. And also, I just wanted to say, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. I've got plenty more videos that I'm going to be trying to put out this week. Ideal number is 5, so we have some stuff that is definitely going out. So also, please make sure to subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. Eagle of Hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.